Okay, so I'm gonna start building this Kingdom Death Samurai. So I can get it out of the box. This one, along with the Gladiator here, are actually kind of my two recent favorites. Let's see what I got. First run collection edition number 299 out of 500. I love these art cards too. I don't know what to do with them though. Like, I've got quite a few of them. I want to go through before I go to Gen Con and see if I can get a bunch of these and see if I can get Adam to sign some of them. I'd like to get him to sign them all, but he's going to be so crazy busy at that con. Don't want to give the guy a heart attack. We needed to make more cool Kingdom Death stuff. Alright. So, the base is actually really awesome. It's got a bunch of faces on it, but it also has like leaves and then rough ground. Very Japanese. I like it. It reminds me of some of the scenes from Afro Samurai. I like that the imagery in that show was really cool. Okay, so there's that. It looks like it's got some pieces of the mold. You can see that. So I'm just cutting that out. And I'm probably going to switch cameras here in a second. There we go. That's cleaned up. There we go. You'll still be able to see all the parts here, but... Alright, this way I can hold up the pieces you actually need. So, I'll have... There we go. So there's certain parts like this one, where you can just snap it off. It doesn't go to anything. There's just a way to pour the resin, and it looks like this one. It rarely happens with Kingdom Death figures, because they do so well with them. But this one you can see right there, and then there's another one right there. A couple of bubbles. Very easy to fill. I'm probably just going to use some super glue to fill them, because they're very small. And then I have this same thing I always use. It's like a very dull razor blade, just so I can be gentle. And I was about to do this. So I was about to put my finger there and then scrape. Don't do that, because all you're going to do is snap a leg off. When you use your thumb as an anchor when you're scraping, make sure you put on something strong so you don't hurt it. Why'd you miss it, Mars? You weren't able to get one? You want to bring one with me when I go to Gen Con? See if I can get you one? I think I have an extra one. There. Just trying to get rid of all those little bits that don't belong. The other thing to mention though, like a lot of these with the new peg holes, these actually, where I would normally snap those off, you don't want to do that now? Oh, that's a pity. I'm sorry, Mars. Like I said, I might have one if you need one. So there you go. That's the reason, is those peg holes are for this. So that she glues on really easy. So, just going through the model to make sure it's all cleaned up. The only two mold lines are on the inner thigh. Still working on those. Another thing too to keep, I've got a special one of these, but if you've got an old toothbrush or something, just to get rid of those little shavings, got this special brush, but only because it's at this weird angle. It's actually an old Games Workshop brush that came in a set with a saw and some other stuff. Actually, the saw and then this mold line scraper, actually. This old mold line scraper. So these are a little too hard on Kingdom Death figures. Yeah, it sounds good, Marge. Just let me know. Alright. So now that's done, I got a few pieces. Looks like her head here. Sorry, the light's a little harsh, but her head. Looks like her arms, tassel. I might have to look up some photos as well. I've got the the build photo here. There you go. That way you can kind of see where I'm going. Those are behind her head. Looks like a lot of wisps, but that's all one piece right here. The wisps. And then it looks like her sword and... Oh, her sword is literally being drawn out. Okay, that's this one. And then the other one must be in her hand. Oh, like she's about to... Well, no, she's just holding it. I was about to say she's about to draw it, but no, she's just holding it. Okay. No, yeah, I like I said, Marsh, I think I still have another one, and it's all yours if you need it. Alright, so I'm going to minimize this again. It'll still be up here, but it's a little big. There we go. So, I'm going to go and actually cut out all these little pieces. After a while, you get a feel for, you know, what's what. Like this end here has a little bit left over. And once you get a feel for it, it usually goes pretty well. I got another bubble here, but it's a very minor one. Very, like, you can hardly even see it on the camera. And then another piece of mold. But it looks like this lantern just goes right onto her sword. I don't know. Probably did. He's taken a lot of stuff from other IPs. Kind of made it his own, but very much taken, you know, direct. Oh, not the sword. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you might have. So this piece right here, you got to be very worried about. Sorry, keep it in focus. This piece is very fragile. This is another mini that I probably won't be able to give away. I'm really hopeful for the thief though. She's really fragile too. But ones where, you know, if you accidentally bump the model, it breaks. Those are the kind where you just can't ship them. I'm being cautious on this one. I don't know exactly where it's supposed to be joined. I can always trim more off if I need to, but I can't go back if I trim too much. So, I'm trying not to do that. Very gentle. If I push too hard, I lose this detail here in the hand. If I push too hard, so I don't want to do that. Okay, there's like a ponytail or something that I need, which is probably this one. Yep, it's definitely that one. Looks like it even has, yep, there's no detail. I don't know if you can see it. There's no detail on this side where there is detail on the other side. So that's definitely where it goes. You can even dry fit it. Yep, that's where it goes. Those two are good. I know where that goes. Now onto the fun part. So I'm going to actually glue the feet in. Yep. Trying to get the facing, so I was turning it around, trying to look at the picture to see which way is which. But this face here is facing towards us, so this is the right angle. So I'm going to put a little into the holes, but I'm also going to put it on her feet. Settles. I'll work on cutting out the other pieces. So I've got that flame bit and then the swords. Flame bit's going to be weird because it's always going to have some sort of... Yeah, okay. So, there. You can see where I'm cutting. It's just beyond the very tip. And you kind of look around, you can kind of see it from an angle where it attaches. I'm going to have to cut it a couple times, but this time gets it out of there at least. Now I have too much on one side, so I have to like angle it. See that extra bit right there that's on? There we go. And then the problem with these is they usually have little tiny bits like this right here that shouldn't be there. It's when the resin goes between the two halves of the mold, some will spill out between the cracks, so it creates that. There's some right here, very tip of the sword is that stuff, and it's very fragile. Sometimes it's down like on these little, can't really see them, these little spikes. You just touch them and they break off most of the time. Alright, swords are easy. There's a distinct end. Okay, now I need to figure out the arms. So I'm going to zoom in on this again. So I have a couple. Looks like this one is the left arm, or the right arm. And then the other one's the other arm. Hey, Shadow Claimer, thank you very much for that host. I'm just building some King of Death stuff. There should, after she's been... not quite. She's getting there, but she's not quite dry yet. But there should be some peg holes. Yep. They started doing this with a lot of King of Death figures. There are actual peg holes for these. May not be able to let her... Nope. I have to do this another way. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use some accelerant. So I'm going to hit her with some more glue. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. So I'm just using regular super glue. A lot of people ask me what super glue I use. You can type exclamation point glue and figure that out. But I'm actually going to use some accelerant for super glue. There's this stuff right here called InstaSet. It should set her feet. I'm going to do it off camera, but I'm just going to spray it on here. Hey, Eve. How's it going? There we go. Oh, it's okay, Shadow Claimer. No worries. You get busy. Yep, zip kick. Yep, same stuff. It just accelerates the process in the super glue and it dries quicker. And it'll evaporate if you spray it on your hands. No blue. Did I mess that up? Should be exclamation point glue. But anyway, it's just a glue that's available here in the US. I'm sure the UK has an equivalent. GLUE. Alright, so I got my glue out. I need to figure out. Thank you for the follow. He has followed me at last. Finally, my life is fulfilled. All my dreams will come true. Alright. So I'm using that peg hook to try to figure out exactly, like, they should have, yep, there you go. I was waiting for it. I knew it would slot in right when I hit it. Yep. So there we go. So I'm going to glue that in too. This one, because of the hole, should stabilize a bit faster than the legs did. There we go. Getting there. Hey, Crazy Sith, thank you very much for the follow. Alright, same on this side, but the arm's going to be a little different. I'm decided. She's like holding it out in front of her. Yep, like straight out in front of her. There we go. Okay. These Candy Death figures can be a little crazy because they're so small and detailed. Yep, and then that's the hand. It goes here. Yep. So I got this little nub at the end of the sword. I saved it just in case it was for some holes on the base. Sometimes they do that. They didn't do that with the sword. I'm definitely going to do 2 glue points on this, one on the bottom and one on the hand, so that it's stable. Yeah, it just goes right behind her foot. I kind of let it go wherever it wants to. Being very careful because you can see how thin that resin is. I'm trying not to break it. Alright, so this time I'm going to have to use that Instaset / zip kicker all over again. Alright, so there's a little bit on the arm. And then I'm going to put a bunch on here because this is going to be the main contact point. Alright, let's do this. Yep, it doesn't want to hold it all. So I gotta get it to hold a little bit. And then I can spray it. So again, off camera, so don't spray everything that's on my desk, but... There we go. It's a little bit shiny from that, but it'll evaporate. She's got me together. She's got her sword. So now I need to attach the other sword. Again, another nub that I didn't know what it would be for. It's just from the mold when they pour it. I'm still fascinated with how detailed these are. It must be a crazy casting process to get these actually made. Sorry. I keep forgetting where the camera angle is. So her wrist here is actually kind of irregular. You can't really see it, but it's not quite smooth. That can be a good thing and a bad thing. Depends. If it's irregular enough to create a concave where one side covers the other, then it's fine. But if it's irregular to the point where they don't mesh up, that's bad. But look, again, they figured it out. There's actually a peg, a very tiny peg, on that hand, and there's a very tiny hole on that wrist. So they factored that. That's awesome. As detailed as these sculpts are, they are finding ways of making it easy to put them together. You just have to know where to look. Much faster. Alright, I'm going to actually angle it this way because I need to be able to paint the pants easier. There we go. Alright, and there's this lantern on her. Trying to decide where to glue it. You gotta glue it somewhere. Honestly, I have to decide where to put it. I'm gonna go look up a photo if I can. Ah, I see. Okay. It's actually supposed to go here. It's supposed to be a wrapping. Yep, right there. It's really weird, but it helps. Okay. So I gotta put glue on this end and on here and on the lantern itself. Okay. It's tied to her sheath here, which is why it's like that. Nope. As I drop tiny pieces. I'll get this. Nope. Or I won't. Nope, does not want to do it. So what I might have to do is actually spray it with the accelerant and then very quickly attach it where it needs to go. That is if it cooperates. Nope. Or I could just glue to my thumb a little faster. I'm getting it. There we go. Just took a little while to spray it again. Alright, so now I'm missing that front part with all the smoke. So it looks like they planned it to where it's coming from here when she draws her sword. And they may have planned it perfect enough to where it curves around. Yep, they did. Cool. So I just need to, I noticed it's not quite smooth on this side. So I have to actually go in here and shave off just a little bit very carefully. It's good that you display them nicely, Arcane Red. It's one thing I see a lot of people that they don't do. And they'll get this big collection of minis, and it's awesome, but then they keep it in like foam cases to take to tournaments and stuff, and you never get to see it. So you have the right idea. Stay again. Nope. Stuff's awesome. Alright, now I just have her head left to do. Fortunately, it should be easy. Nice, yeah, that's the thing. Until you have so much stuff, you run out of space. But yeah, no, be proud of the work you've done. Especially when you put as much time as we do into these projects. It's a shame not to see it often. there's just little pieces of the mold left over. Little bits of resin that are too small. Yeah, this is definitely a Mini that needs to be in plastic. It's so fragile. But again, it's got hooks to go in here. I'll probably put her head on and then glue that on. So here, I'm going to glue her head on really quick. Sorry, I'm out of frame. There we go. Just go without those, but I think I want to add them. Alright, but I need to know which ones go where. So I'm going to pull up that photo again really quick. Okay. It's like most of the details on one side. Those curves. Interesting. Okay. That gives me an idea. Okay. I know which is which. Let me do this side first. There's a spot for them to fit properly, but it's so light and fragile. I don't want to force it. Just got to hold it. Gotta use that accelerant again. Give me just 1 second. Be careful. You get really one shot at it. Well, that didn't work out. Oh, I learned a valuable lesson. Don't do anything with a hole. All it did is the super glue that was already in there. All that did was seal it up, seal up the hole. So now I have to chip away that guide that I had in order to fit this. Oh well, you learn. Fortunately, there should be enough left on there so that I can position it properly. Nope, in the same boat all over again. There we go. That's more like it. Now the other side. Uh-oh. No. Another lesson, don't lose parts.